Boom, a boom, boom. He's Chef Track on the fast track. He's Chef Track on the fast track.
Hello friends, my name's Chef Delmer Gill, and this is another Chef Trek adventure. To my left is my wonderful co-host, Mia Bird.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to the Sound Barrier Experience. Yeah. Mick McLeese on bass, Greg James on drums. Mobilaji and I go back to high school when he was trying to teach me how to beat a drum, and I was like, huh? But bless you guys for being here. Yeah. That's our house band. That's the Sound Barrier Experience. Right now, I'm frying some tortilla chips. Those of you in our studio audience have received a rundown on just a few of the things we're doing. These tortilla chips are going to be used with a salsa that Mia is currently working on.
On the fly.
On the fly.
That's restaurant lingo for what, Del?
On the fly.
Like a bird.
Like a bird.
Like a bird.
You mean like your last name Bird?
Something like that.
There's a bird crawling around here now.
I see.
Now, what we base these shows on are what we call the 4 F's. Faith, family, friends, and food.
And food.
We're going to bring up the woman who's responsible for these marvelous cupcakes, and that's Sister Betty Pearson from How Yummy Is That?
Yes.
Sister Betty,
How
it
are
is such a blessing to have you join us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. What's this wonderful stuff you've got here?
Well, we've made cupcakes, which is the new trend. Now a lot of people get cupcakes for affairs because they're easy to handle. You don't have to cut cake, and you can be of interest and be creative and make them beautiful. So it's the latest trend. The one I love to do is carrot cake. And it has, actually this one is vegan. I have a couple different recipes, but this one's vegan. It has no dairy in it at all. No dairy, and you would never know. And then I'm featuring a lemon chiffon, devil's food with chocolate icing, and butter cake with buttercream icing.
Okay.
So enjoy.
Now let me ask you real quick. I just love the name that you picked. How yummy is that?
How yummy is that?
Because I look at it and say, how yummy is that? But we're all going to find out, folks. Sister Betty, bless you and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Betty Pearson, how yummy is that?
How yummy is that?
Now, as we're moving along, these chips are going to be done. Mia, how are you? Are you ready to go into salsa land?
Well, I am. We're just going to have to dice up those tomatoes.
Okay.
But the only thing is, did you want me to get out of your way so you can start that gazpacho?
No.
Okay.
I know how to do stuff.
Okay.
Now, we're going to do, while she's finishing up her salsa that's going with our chips, I'm going to do our watermelon and spinach gazpacho in just a minute. Now, Mia, what are we putting in that wonderful stuff you're doing there?
Well, a salsa. What is a salsa?
It's a dance. Well, it is.
It is a dance. I like to think of it as a dance before I think of it as food because I love to dance.
Yes,
But
you do.
The word salsa basically means sauce, right?
That is correct.
So often it's become a favorite condiment in America, but salsa has come to mean more than what we used to know as the tomato and jalapeno and garlic lime mixture that used to always accompany a lot of Mexican food. Salsa has become...
I'll take that.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Salsa has
There's a
become...
little bird crawling around
Yes,
here.
it is. Known to so many for the many different applications. So there used to be just savory salsas, so you know, the tomato-based or some other type of vegetable, but now they've grown into fruit salsas. So today, though, we're just going to pick of this wonderful bounty that Chef has put out for us.
Bounty.
Yes, you know that salsa basically is going to be, we have cilantro here. Chef wants to put in some parsley. We'll probably throw in some garlic, a little red pepper. Do we have jalapeno? I do see some.
Yes.
And we'll have some tomatoes and just go with the flow. And Chef, after this, would you want me to start working on pulling the chicken because we have this yummy, delicious recipe.
Sure, certainly.
He's starting off with this wonderful watermelon gazpacho.
Yes.
And he's deep frying the red and yellow tortilla chips to accompany, what are those chips accompanying?
Our salsa.
Our salsa, of course.
Well, actually, they're accompanying with whatever people may want to have.
Right. Chef also has prepared a jerk chicken salad, and we're also with a little bit of the chicken because it's all about utilizing what you have. Because,
exactly.
Just because you might have a bunch of chicken, let's just say, it doesn't mean you have to make one thing with it. So part of the chicken is going to be used for the jerk chicken salad, but then the other part we're going to do some pretzel sliders, some pulled barbecue pretzel sliders.
Yes, we are.
So, and it's just so simple. It sounds very, very complicated, but it really is simple. And that's what we're all about when it comes to food. Anybody can cook.
Well, as Mia said, and what we like to do is emphasize with folks to make do with some of the things that you have. We don't want to say do a show for folks and then they have to travel all around just to get some rare and unusual ingredients. That's not what we do.
Del, what else do you have in that gazpacho?
Watermelon is in here.
You do want the cucumber to go in there?
Yes.
Okay.
This is good. This is good, and I'll take a little bit of red onion. Or I'll tell you what, let's try the Vidalia sweet onion.
Okay. And what's the difference in flavor for those who have not used Vidalia or the regular red onion?
Well, the Vidalia onion, as in its name, is sweet. And what we're going to do is we'll just use this whole guy here.
Okay. The red onion has more, it's nice for a gazpacho, but the Vidalia onion is sweeter, whereas the red onion is zestier. So depending on whatever application. If you wanted to do, people put caramelized onions on everything. That was like a big revolution. Caramelize this, caramelize onions that.
Yeah, I'm glad that's over with.
Yeah, but the best application for a caramelized onion would be a Vidalia because it's sweet already. You don't have to put a whole lot of extra sugar on it. But in a salsa, you want something a little zestier. It doesn't have, sweet is fine, but you want, if you want a zestier salsa.
You see, for those of you who saw, I just put this onion in my mouth, and it's sweet. Normally, a regular onion, I would not do that.
So I'm going to finish. These tomatoes were already cut. Again, you just want to use what you have. Generally, I'm like a weird person when it comes to cutting and certain cuts of things. I want perfect small, because it's for chips. So you don't want something too big to scoop up the chip with, but they were already cut. So you just want to cut them down smaller.
No, just cut them down, again, as you have said.
Just so that, you can scoop it up for what it's going to be used for, which is just a sauce for the chips. Is anything else going in that gazpacho, Chef?
Yes. Some of those very same tomatoes you were cutting.
Okay.
The gazpacho normally is a tomato gazpacho. I ran across a nice recipe for watermelon. Actually, I found one that was watermelon and cucumber and watermelon and tomato. But we decided, as you came from you, to do a recipe with both?
I'm going to grab a lime and just going to get probably some red onions. You didn't start a red onion yet, right?
No, I did not. Now, thus far, as Mia's been talking about her salsa, we have put in our watermelon gazpacho, tomatoes, some onion. We're using the Vidalia sweet, watermelon and cucumber.
And peppers. And the best thing with the salsa, just let it sit. It can sit a day, it can sit 3 days. But the longer it sits, obviously, the more flavor. But if you want a really fresh tasting salsa, you can just eat it. Just mix this up and set it to the side. The tortilla chips are saying, we're waiting to be married.
Yes, they are.
These two go well together. They
yes,
really
they do.
And so I'm going to get pulling on the chicken.
Now, what was put on that was poultry on the chicken that you're shredding. Poultry seasoning, salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, and some chicken seasoning. So poultry seasoning, and sage, because you did mention sage to me.
Right.
So this is like regular seasonings you would put on chicken. But we're pulling it, she's pulling it, and we're going to heat it with a little barbecue sauce, and that's going on our pretzel roll. Now, we have a nice little pretzel roll out front, and we have a nice health bread and a nice veggie bread. This comes from our sponsors, Rockland Bakery of Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey, and that's rocklandbakery.com. Now, what we've been cooking on, our induction burners, but our pots are from our national sponsor, which is Healthcraft Products of Tampa, Florida, and that's healthcraft.net. No, healthcraft.com. I'm .net.
Is that going to be for your drink?
This is for our summer cooler, or some might call a smoothie. Spinach, cantaloupe, and I found this, and I did some variations on it. And what I want people to understand what a recipe is. For me, a recipe is a guideline for you to use.
That's right.
The ingredients you may want to alter. The method of preparation may be the same, but I found this, and I decided I would do it with spinach, cantaloupe instead of honeydew. Once again, pineapple juice.
Don't get up against it. Don't move.
A little salt and pepper, which we are using cracked pepper and cracked sea salt.
When you're making barbecue sauce, you can make it however you want to make it. So we're going to just throw in some of these peach ginger preserves. We'll start with a basic barbecue sauce. It's a North Carolina pulled chicken sandwich. So the North Carolinian barbecue is very vinegary.
Yes,
and
it is.
They do things, we're going to probably have time to make it on camera real quick, a quick slaw. But they put slaw on their sandwiches, and it's ever so good. We started with some vinegar. So, because we want vinegar. And the funny thing is, I'm sorry because y'all are going to start, it's going to start smelling like vinegar in here. But you're going to thank me later. We use two different kinds of vinegar. We use rice vinegar, which is something you find in an Asian store, and we use red wine vinegar. It's just a different way to present it. But we're just going to dump this in.
Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to finish up the components we need for our jerk chicken.
Okay. All right, so we're just going to put in our barbecue sauce. We have our vinegar in. And I put in a little bit of pepper just to give it a little bit of flavor, a little bit more flavor. And the preserves.
Summertime, and your food shouldn't be greasy. Fish are jumping, and meat prices are high.
Oh, boy, are they? Yes.
Oh, so high.
Oh, so high.
That's all I thought of.
That's good. That's good. Good job, Chef.
Hey, Mick, did I hear you playing School Days earlier? Can we get a little School Days in the background where we're having fun?
All right, Chef. Chef, I'm going to put a little bit of ketchup in. Is this open already? not the dry stuff.
If I have it, it should be right over here.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen. For those of you that don't know that tune, it's from famed Philadelphia bassist Stanley Clarke from his early work entitled School Days.
Yes. So can you guys smell how this barbecue smells? And it has a very strong vinegar flavor. But when you bite into a North Carolina, whether it's a pulled pork or a pulled chicken,
Yes.
it's the creaminess of the coleslaw.
Absolutely.
It's the sweetness of the barbecue sauce and even the tanginess of the vinegar that when you accompany that with the bread, it makes such a delicious and lovely expence for your, for your mouth, because it's all these different flavors all working together in conjunction to just be enjoyable. And the other thing, chicken, as we all know, can get a little dry.
Yes, it can.
When you grill it, as Chef had done, even though he had his chicken breasts and they were moist and lovely, but it can get a little dry. This is one way for you to keep your chicken succulent. When you put it in the barbecue sauce, in a sauce, it keeps it very moist. So it's a way to enjoy your chicken nice and moist, as you should. Because some chicken recipes can get a little dry, no matter how great you are as a chef. It just
does. Dry is dry is dry.
That's right. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more chicken, just so we can utilize all of this yummy stuff.
And you know, it looks quite good. Now, what I did with that chicken, folks, is I used the seasoning that I mentioned earlier, sage, poultry seasoning, bit of salt, pepper, a wee bit of garlic, and the chicken seasoning. Then what I did was I roasted this in the oven. I roasted it. I could have grilled it. I didn't want to fry it, but I roasted it. And then once it was done, it gets nice and moist. And as you saw, Mia was able to pull that apart with her wee fingers.
Right, you can dice it with
which I think it was wonderful.
Yeah, who wants perfect chicken?
Well, we are not in the perfect world.
Not at all.
But we make the best.
Yes, we do.
Don't we?
That's right. So what are you doing, Chef?
Well, we have the other chicken. The other chicken also was roasted, but only I used a jerk rub. I used a mild jerk chicken rub.
Okay.
So we're mixing in here some onions, some peppers, and see, this is the thing, like I mentioned earlier about a recipe. It's a guideline that you can use. But I'm going to add a bit of celery.
Chef, I just snuck in a little garlic because you know how I am. I have to have garlic. And even though it's not granulated, it's fine.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I have to have some garlic in this thing.
Well, that's quite all right. We are about to take a break. Mia, we're going to recap what we've done. I know that I have done our watermelon, tomato, and cucumber gazpacho.
Yummy.
And what else?
We started our chips is what we started the show with.
Yes.
The red and yellow tortilla chips and fresh crude salsa with our tomatoes. And then we moved on. Right now, we're just finishing up the touches because you got to taste. You didn't see me doing this on camera. Chefs, you often will see somebody sticking their finger in something and tasting it, and sometimes they'll double dip.
Use a spoon.
Yeah, a professional chef doesn't do that because
not in the public's eye.
Right, but what we're doing is, before you eat it or before you serve it, you should taste it.
Absolutely.
Don't throw it to the wind and say, hope it came out, because there's something you can do about it right now.
Absolutely.
Before it's too late. But this is pretty much done. It just needed a little bit of, a little bit more help to develop the flavor. Chef did finish up his jerk chicken salad.
Yes, and you have the dressing for that, correct?
I do. It's just, it's marinated. Again, the same thing we said with the salsa. It needs time to develop. Just like children have to mature.
Absolutely.
Adults have to mature.
More so than children.
But so do sauces, so do dressings.
Absolutely.
They need time to mature for the flavors to really develop.
And we also did our little cantaloupe.
Yes.
And spinach cooler or smoothie. So
Absolutely.
we've done that. Now I've cut up in what we call a julienne strip of both red and green apples. Now we're going to mix this with some of our cabbage. Now we just have a regular shredded cabbage with shredded cabbage and carrots shredded.
Yes.
And we are going to mix some of our apple with this.
And Chef, because I
Talk
love
to me.
Utilize what you have already as opposed to creating things new, because that can create waste and everything else.
Can't we all?
If you're not opposed to the idea, the dressing that we use for the jerk chicken salad, because
let's put it in here.
And the other thing, it kind of, I can't say kill two birds with one stone because we don't.
No, we don't use that term. Her
I'm
name's Bird, and I stopped her from. I said we can no longer use that term.
So we're going to be more efficient, and because he just used apples, everybody knows that if you use apples, they're going to oxidize, they're going to turn brown, unless you do something to stop that. So the lemon juice. I'm not a scientist or a chemist, but it.
Yes, you are. Oh, your daughter's. Shadima's a scientist and a chemist.
Yes, she is.
At age 8.
Yes. So what we're going to do is the same dressing we're going to use for this, we're going to also use for that.
Marvelous.
So,
and actually, Bird, we're just going to do a drizzle on that jerk chicken.
Okay.
So if you like, you can drizzle away.
Okay.
Because I do believe we've gotten our shots of that that item already.
Okay. So I will, on a slant, watch me pull this rabbit out of my head. I will, on a slant.
Don't know my own strength. Oh, sorry.
Drizzle this.
You know me, I get carried away with the cartoons.
Right. And a tossing chef will go.
A tossing we will go.
A tossing he will go.
A tossing we will go.
And I will
help
leave.
me, Lord, oh help me, Lord. A tossing
Absolutely.
we will go.
And should I as well? Just a wee bit here.
Oh, just put it in there.
You know how much.
Oh, thank you, sister. You're the best.
And
oh, what a wonderful thing.
Yes,
what a wonderful thing. But
you
here
can see
it is.
Once you dress something, how it comes to life, and the oil, the little oil that's in it, gives it a sheen and a color.
It's a glistening.
It is a glistening.
It's a glistening, folks. I'm going to use the regular oil.
The regular oil, okay.
We have pineapple here. We have a bit of blended oil and a bit of honey. So I'm whisking this, and as the oil and the juice start to combine and the honey, it starts to get a little thick. And we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of vinegar.
Okay.
Well, we will use maybe about tablespoon and a half of parsley.
Okay.
And it's coming up very nicely. We're going to do a little drizzle.
Oh, go ahead. You can go ahead and then we can garnish this on the top.
Sure, why not?
Again, you see how easy vinaigrette is. We pay $5 a bottle
I'm
for this
watching.
stuff. It's not that serious. It's just an emulsion of oil and water.
That's all.
Oil and vinegar.
Oil and
some
vinegar, some
kind
sort of sweetener.
Yeah, juice or whatever it is you want to
Because
use.
I did use the pineapple juice, but you could have added lemon juice, lime juice, orange juice. You could have added any of those. And speaking of which, just for some additional garnish, because we have it here,
Make it pretty.
make it pretty. Yes. Thank you.
And Chef, we did this at the last show where you did we do like our own adaptation or version of a fruit salad. People think of fruit salad as something closer to what you see on the table, which is pineapple, cantaloupe, things like that. But this is a truer definition of a fruit salad where you take lettuce, which is usually thought of as salad, and you take fruit, and you're getting the best of both worlds. 'Cause
Absolutely.
you're getting fruit and a vegetable type. So it's better for your body. It's good.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. So this to me definitely looks like eating a rainbow because
I would
it's
think
a bunch
so.
of color, a bunch of flavors, a bunch of different textures. You have the golden beets that are going to be a little more al dente, softer to the touch.
Yes.
But the apples are going to be crunchier, the pineapples. It looks West Indian. It looks like Jamaica, Antigua, Barbados.
You better
You
mention
just name it.
Barbados.
All we need is the music.
We've added some pineapple and some cantaloupe, which will go with our jerk chicken salad if you choose, because the original recipe did have pineapple in it, so that will be there for that. And
Chef, I just want to say a quick word.
talk
really
to me,
quick.
my dear.
The same way you did the lettuce, I just want to remind people as far as just having the freedom, the same way we did the marinade for the fruit salad with the lettuce, try it. I just had one the other day that was just like phenomenal. But a little bit of lime juice, a little bit of honey, a little bit of either parsley or whatever herb you like, but parsley and cilantro work well. On your fruit salad, you would be surprised. You think that
Absolutely.
I just like my fruit plain.
And
Some
that's
people
nothing wrong with that.
That's right, but as opposed to putting more sugar on it to make it sweet, when you put things like vinegar or any kind of anything that enhances, it pulls out more sweetness other than putting sugar. And vinegar is not bad for you. It's good to balance you out with your pH in your body. It's better than just using sugar. I'm not against sugar, though.
Neither am I.
All right, so just to wrap up, Chef, we started the show with the tortillas,
Yes.
which accompany the salsa.
Yes.
You did your jerk chicken salad.
Yes.
Your watermelon gazpacho.
Yes.
And you did your also your cooler, which was what?
That was cantaloupe and spinach and pineapple juice.
All right, we're going to put these. We'll have them. We won't do that on camera right now, but what they're going to do, we're going to just take these and put those on the pretzel sliders buns, and you can be with the coleslaw or without. And we have our wonderful fresh fruit salad with mixed greens and golden beets and apples.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's everything. And it's all of this stuff is so summery, so light, so refreshing for your body. You guys are going to feel invigorated when you eat this.
Absolutely.
Your body is going to just give you a big hug because you're going to feel so much better. It's going to cleanse you out, and it's going to make your cells just thrive because all of these things like these citrus fruits and this vinegar and
cleansing.
It's very cleansing. And with some whole grain bread to balance you out.
Marvelous.
It's just going to be a wonderful experience. So we're excited to bring it to you.
On the fast track, he's Chef Track. On the fast track, his food is so good, good. His food is so good, good. His food is so good, good. Chef Track, Chef Track, Chef Track, Chef Track. His food is so good. Chef Track, Chef Track.